Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and potential candidates for the AIMET Business School. It's wonderful to have you joining us, and we look forward to talking to you throughout this session. We have our senior advisors online, and should you have any questions throughout the session, please feel free to ask them, and we will be responding at the end of the session. It'll be approximately a half-hour session, and as I said, we will be able to continue discussions with you afterwards should you have any questions. Myself, I'm a former Dean at Macquarie University's Graduate School of Management and have worked in senior positions as an academic at Macquarie University, at the Australian University and the University of Canberra before joining AIMET Business School 2 years ago. I'm also recently a counsellor on the Australian Institute of Company Directors New South Wales Council, and I have extensive experience in consulting to both private and public sector organisations, and have extensive involvement in executive education. I'm delighted to be with you and delighted to be representing the AIMET Business School for you. This session is one of many we run for you via webinar. However, we're always available on the phone or even in person should you wish to contact us and make an appointment to speak with us. That includes myself. What are we covering today? Obviously, the main question is why would you study an MBA? We'll also be undertaking a short poll which looks at why you're looking to undertake an MBA, given that there are a diversity of reasons, both personal and professional. And why then obviously would you want to come to us, as there are many, many opportunities throughout Australia and internationally to study. Importantly, who will you be studying with? Because you learn as much from the people you study with as you do from the facilitators and the work materials that you cover. Big question, because most of you, I'm guessing, aren't 21-year-olds. Most of you will be older with experience. How will you fit that into your life? Families, parents, friends, and we do want you to have a life as well as studying the MBA. We'll look at the program overview and then leave time for questions and answers. So the first, I think, issue is really to ask yourself why study an MBA. I think the thing about studying an MBA is that the MBA really gives you a new language. It gives you the language of managing people, managing markets, and managing money. And then, of course, your electives around those major capacities can be honed to focus in on human resources, on innovation, on leadership. All those sorts of options are available for you. But I guess the first reason is really a mercenary one, in the sense that people want to boost their salary or their employment prospects. None of us tend to want to stay exactly where we are. We want to upgrade and specialise our skills and knowledge, and certainly that's what postgraduate education and a grade cert or a grade diploma MBA can do. It rounds you out for management and leadership opportunities. It gives you career progression wherever you are, but it also provides opportunities for change. And many of the MBA students who I have taught have been engineers, teachers, scientists, who have reached a certain part in their career and who want to make a change. For example, if you're a human resources professional working in an HR capacity, you may want to branch out and be a consultant in training and development. There are many alternatives for you once you have that general language that is provided by the MBA. On the other hand, many people reach a certain level in their organisations and they're told that unless they have that magic piece of paper called an MBA from a reputable institution, which is of course what AIMET Business School is, they won't be able to progress further. Then we have others who really are very, very switched on by needing to develop themselves personally. You've come to a fork in the road and you want to be energised by transforming yourself as well as your professional career, or because you have an interest in management. And of course, as I mentioned, to be more qualified than the next candidate when your CV is in front of a panel choosing someone to give a new job. What do our students tell us? Well, we have a major percentage who want to upskill themselves, to develop themselves. Next comes, obviously, the career change or promotion. Many people want to start their own business. And then, of course, it may be a job requirement. So, why study it? What does the AIM Business School offer, and what does the AIM MBA offer you? It builds your knowledge, your capability, and your capacity. I think it gives you a certain self-assurance that you can talk to the finance manager in the company, that you can talk to the marketing manager. If you hire a consultant, they're not going to pull the wool over your eyes. So it gives you that level of confidence. For people who are technicians, for people who are engineers, teachers, etc., moving into the management and leadership roles requires you to learn different sorts of language, different sorts of skills and competencies. If you are a specialist, one of my favourite ex-students happens to be my dentist, who fortunately thought I was a good lecturer, but he was a specialist, obviously, as a dentist, and wanted to enhance his generalist qualifications as he went into opening an array of dental practices. It provides evidence of leadership potential, so you can say, if you've got your MBA, that I do have leadership potential. Please put me onto the leadership track in your organisation, that you are ready to grow, ready to take on leadership tasks. Importantly, it gives you tremendous mobility, not just across organisations, but different industries. It provides people who are in the not-for-profit sector the capacity to go into the for-profit sector, to move from teaching into leading and developing HR resources in companies. And importantly, if you have a government-accredited qualification as RZ, Australian qualifications are recognised, not just recognised, but actually really sought out in many countries. Why are you looking to undertake an MBA? There'll be 5 in a poll that we're about to run. There will be 5 options for you to choose from in our MBA. These include self-development or to upskill, career progression or promotion, career change, job requirement, and other. So the poll is now open and ready for your fabulous polling. And we'll let you know the results at the end of the session. Well, thank you for undertaking that. My colleagues tell me that you've been so efficient that we're able to give you the results now. 56% of you chose self-development or to upskill. Not a surprise, well done. 33% for career progression or promotion. Again, a very useful approach to undertaking an MBA. 11% of you want to change your career, which is a really good motivation to have. And the other two, job requirements or other, were not ranked. So we now have a much clearer idea of why you want to undertake the MBA. Now, why an MBA then with AIMET Business School? Well, we are grounded in the Australian Institute of Management, which has been around now for over 75 years. It's a leader in professional education, from short courses through to vocational courses, through customised in-house programs, and of course to our terrific suite of postgraduate courses, the Grade Cert, the Grade Dip and the MBA. Importantly, we were also first into the market in a range of very exciting options. For example, I think we're one of the very few MBA programs that offers an elective in mindfulness and transformational leadership. We also link leadership with innovation and the whole notion of sustainability. So you can see that what we do throughout our offerings is very, very leading edge and is based on additional skills to what you might get at other business schools. We were the first education provider in Australia to adopt the Harvard case study method. On the other hand, unlike other business schools who rely almost solely on Harvard case studies, we are focused on what you need, which is case studies, and your assessments will focus on these of your own organisations, whether they're grounded in Australia or grounded internationally. So in a sense, what you're doing with us is actually providing mini consulting to your own organisation right throughout the program, which again makes us very, very different and a much more professionally oriented, though academically grounded MBA. Importantly, we are TEXA accredited. TEXA is the Government Tertiary Education Quality Standards Authority. We have accreditation without conditions for the next 7 years. So if you join us, you know that you're with government tips to all our approaches to education. Importantly, a key differentiator from us is that you study on your own terms. We don't say turn up 3 times a year and enrol then. We're not going to talk to you before or after. The terms are very much focused on what you need as a professional learner, as a professional working in industry or government or the not-for-profit sector. So while your assessments dip into management and business theory, they are based in practice. So you can tailor them to your organisational needs. We have campuses across all major states, and if you can't get to those, you can of course do an online offering. We have monthly intakes, which makes a major difference. It means that you don't have to hang around, you don't have to wait, you don't have to waste time. If you decide to do something, bang, you can do it. You can fast track and you can do it part-time. It's very important to work out if you can fast track. It's important to take time, and we'll talk about this in a moment, to be pragmatic about what you can actually manage. MBA is made up of 12 units, and this is on campus or online. They run over 10 weeks, and in the 11th week, you can finalise your assessment submission. What do you need to devote in terms of time? If you're like me and really a people person, you probably need to spend more time on finance when you're doing it. If you're a finance person and not really a people person, when you get to doing leading, managing and developing people units, you probably will spend a bit of extra time because you're not comfortable in that space. But by the end of your MBA, you will be comfortable across the spaces that we provide. We have online and blended study modes, which mark us out from many other providers who only offer face-to-face or online. We have the blended mode, which differentiates us in the marketplace. I think one of the really guiding principles of our organisation, and something again that marks us off from the universities, and having been in that university sector for 20 years, I can put my hand on my heart and say that we offer support like no other. We have a fabulous in-house student support team available. They're very experienced and they're there to support you. Our faculty not only is academically qualified, but before they become faculty and while they are faculty, they have to continue their consulting work. So they have extensive experience in all sectors. They bend over backwards to assist you. Both the unit conveners and the faculty members have one-on-one access and are there to help you. In addition to that, we have forum discussions with your group, whether that be face-to-face or whether it be online, and with faculty. We do have on-campus library facilities from which you can borrow, but importantly, and because of your being time poor like most of us are, we have tremendous online resources for the latest journals and e-books, EBSCO, IBIS World, and the like. Importantly, we've introduced access to your tutor from next month. Your tutor offers 24-hour service for you if you have problems with assessments. And I mean, if you're awake at 10 or 11 o'clock at night when most of the facilitators won't welcome a telephone call from you, you can key into your tutor. Now, they're not going to sadly write your assessments for you, but if you're having problems with things like referencing or what is a synopsis or what does describe or explain, all of those terms, then they can assist you. They are available on 24 hours online in terms of returning questions you have. And I'm also available on the phone from 3 o'clock till midnight each day. So fantastic service to support the ones we offer. You also have access to me, probably at the end of the line, but should it all get too much, I'm more than happy to talk to you, either online or in person on the phone. Now, some people complain that when they're in the university sector, this is not a criticism, it's just how it is, that they're studying with people who don't represent a variety of industries or sectors, or they have too many international students, and we love international students, but we don't have very many of them at this stage. We do in fact teach in country, it is important to know that essentially we are teaching you from a domestic perspective. And if you look at the list, we have a tremendous portfolio of sectors represented: business, government, finance, manufacturing, legal, not-for-profit, IT, etc. Look at the particular age groups. This is important because you want experienced people. You want people with whom you can talk freely, people who are going to share their experience, and most importantly, who are mature and have experience. State locations there are clear, as are the different sorts of position types we have. Here's a good example of one of our terrific now alumni who worked with us, Wayne. And Wayne is one of our success stories because he started off as a truck driver for Redco. Now, there aren't many truck drivers who aspire to MBAs, but it does happen. He started there, he was motivated. His senior leadership team said, "You're excellent. What you need is to get the relevant education so you can progress in the organisation." And having got his MBA, he was promoted to Executive General Manager of Sales and Operations in his company. Fantastic story, a fantastic story. I've had many others like that. So you've just got to work out why you want to do it, why you want to do it with us, and what your motivation and commitment are. Importantly, how do you fit an MBA into your life? Now, we would say that if you're working full-time, you can't extend yourself as a mature professional unless you're doing it full-time. You need probably to do no more than 1 or 2 units, unless, of course, you have studied elsewhere and you can get recognition for prior learning. Questions. What are your priorities? Now, if you've just given birth to triplets, probably not a good time to start your MBA. But you might want to do 1 unit just to keep yourself sane. If you've just changed jobs and you're still getting your feet under the table, again, probably not a good time to start. But don't leave it too long. So, balancing homework and studying is really important. So I think we suggest write a list, rank where you want to be, where you want to spend your time, and how, really think about pragmatically how many units you could study at a time. There's nothing wrong with studying just one, especially first time round. Okay, then you need to build a study plan, schedule 10 to 12 hours a week per unit, plus the additional time to prepare for assessment. Blend your study. You might want to do some face-to-face and some online. And some people actually take annual leave to do a unit. We do offer some intensive units as well. Our program overview. If you have no higher education qualifications, you'll come through the graduate certificate on your way to the MBA. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it's probably a good way to move through anyway, because you're building on some basic units. You can see underneath that the costs of doing each one, but of course the help is available. Credit transfer from other places. If you've done 3 units at AIB or at Macquarie University and you've decided that's not what you want, we will, after having looked at those units, probably agree on credit transfer, and that'll mean you have fewer to do with us. We can also recognise prior experience, and you'll have to fill in a recognition of prior learning and form, and then apply for recognition of that particular experience. no prior qualification, graduate certificate, move through to grad dip, bachelor's degree, with 2 years experience, you can zoom straight into the Master of Business Administration. We're not just about getting pieces of paper. You'll be challenged, you'll be stretched, but whether you have studied a long time ago or you're just more recently into it, we have a fabulous academic skills program that you can do and is free online. That sort of wraps up where we are at this particular stage, but we really, really look forward to questions from you. And as I said, senior advisors have been looking at questions you've been sending us, and we can answer those now. We've got a question here on how is the course structured. Ashton's asked about that. As I said, we have 12 units, and grad cert has 4, grad dip has 4, and the MBA has 4. And it's a useful pathway to take. You can, of course, graduate at any time with those once you're qualified. I think, Ashton, in the costs overall about the 40,000 and broken down into about the 13,000 lot. Fee help. Fee help is a government-sponsored initiative, and it's a national initiative for domestic students. It means that you get assistance in paying for your tuition, but then once you've reached a certain level, and unfortunately that level is now in the new budget, if it gets through Parliament, I think it's been lowered to just under 50,000 from memory. You will have to start paying back to the government the money you've been loaned through fee help. The best source for fee help information is the government fee help website, but our senior advisors can also provide you with the website information you need. Ashton's asked, how can it be worked through? Number of units at a time. Well, if you've been made redundant, and I hope you haven't been, and you were looking to amplify your credentials for going into the marketplace, then you could do it full-time and take a number of units and shorten the period of time that it took to get through. As I said, if you're working full-time, if you have family commitments, you'd be best off taking 1, maximum 2 at a time. Some of these you could do intensively, which means you could then speed up what you're doing. But we don't want you to take on so many that you fail. And we have had experience of people taking on too many and they get into trouble. Ashton's asked if you've got a bachelor's degree and more than 2 years experience, would you be able to only do the 12 units? No, if it's 12 units, a total 40,000. If you've got that degree and experience, you can go straight into the MBA, but you still have to do the 12 units, the 9 core and 3 electives. Yes, so it goes grad dip 13,400, grad dip 26,800, and the MBA is 40,200 overall. If you're not working full-time, can the course be completed in 12 months? It really depends on you, because even if you're not working full-time, you may have other commitments such as family. It's usually 18 months when people complete. But the course advisors and the student advisors can work out a very sensible approach to you doing it in as short a time as possible. We've got a question from Peter saying, can you study in one city and transfer to another campus? You can, but also you can start off studying on a particular campus, and this has happened in a number of cases, and then you find that because you've been doing so well in the course, you're promoted and you have to go overseas. Well, then you can continue the course online with us. So that's available from anywhere in the world. Is there a maximum time limit in terms of completing the MBA? 7 years is the maximum time, but of course there may be extenuating circumstances. If you didn't have the triplets when you started, you may have the triplets halfway through, and that obviously is going to give you less time to study than you had initially contemplated. How do you go about getting credit for work experience or study? As we said, we do have credit transfers. So if you studied at Monash, you've done a unit in human resources. Well, if it tallies with the unit we offer in human resources, then we would, and it's no longer than 10 years old, we would give you a credit transfer for that unit. For work experience people, you have to provide evidence that you meet the learning outcomes for each unit that you're going to claim on the basis of work experience. For example, if you're the finance officer but you don't have qualifications in finance, if you give us the budget, the projections, and those sorts of things, we will be able to consider them. That costs $500 a unit for the people-based experience. We've got any more questions? I'm just trying to see. Please feel free to ask more. Yep, I've answered that. I think we've answered all the questions. Time for one last question. But the senior advisors sorry, we have got one here. Can you exit after the grad cert or grad dip? Absolutely. Most people do take out the qualification and graduate at those levels, but usually on their way to graduating with an MBA. But it may be that you feel that the grad cert is all you need at this moment, and you can graduate with that, go away, and then come back to it, and we'd welcome you. And obviously credit the units you have done with us already. So you could do the grad cert, go away for a couple of years, come back, and we would credit that, and you could leap straight into the grad dip. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's the end of our session, but our senior advisors are available to take any further questions. You may want to go away and think about it and then come back to us. And we are always available to help you online. We look forward to welcoming at least some of you, and whatever choices you make, all the best wishes for your future.